to Ready, Set, EdTech with Lindsay and Jan. I'm Lindsay.
I'm Jan.
And we're excited to be here today. This is our third session where we're discussing how do we improve our instruction to support our ELL students. We've talked a little bit about SEL and social emotional learning. We've talked about comprehensible input. So today we're going to be focusing on the output. How do we provide students with opportunities to share their learning and understanding with us in comprehensible ways? So let's get started.
All right, so we talked about comprehensible input, like how we give the content to them. Let's talk about how they respond to that.
And that's called comprehensible output.
Right, so when students are able to understand, then they can really give meaningful responses. So we're going to take a look at a few things for that. Just like with input, you could give them opportunities with multiple representation, helping them show their understanding. Through drawing and design, we've got a few links here to, if you're unfamiliar with any of these, Google Drawings and Canva is a good way for them to go in and design something or draw something. Give them an opportunity to play games. Everybody's familiar with Kahoot, I'm sure, and quizzes. Quizlet is awesome. I really love Quizlet. If I could do a PD on Quizlet, I probably would. It'd be a while. But
it'd be a new topic.
there's a lot you can do with these, and they're interactive, and you can use images, and it's really a good way to get them to respond and see what they know.
Mm-hmm. And create that
having them make a video and an audio, just like you made a video for them, they can make a video back to you to answer a question or respond to it or make a project. You can make a project out of it. And then,
well, and I really think, like, just looking at all of those there, when we talk about this online learning, another thing I'm hearing from teachers too is the concern about cheating, and really not only cheating, students cheating or copying others' work, but even moms doing the work for the kids. So it's hard to tell what the kid really knows and where the kid's really at. And so using these authentic assessment methods, such as drawing, designing, games, audio, visual, and the digital manipulative, that really shows you, gives you the opportunity to hear and see the child and know what it is that they understand. So it kind of takes that out of the equation.
And digital manipulatives, I'm just going to click on this real quick. This shows you how to use Google Slides interactively, and we've just learned a lot. So she's designing
change for basic background
interactive slides. So the kids go in and they actually can interact with the slide and put in things, and you can see, they can respond to you by that. And it can be live, or you can share it with them through the LMS and they can respond that way. So this is
like a drag and drop, right?
Like
you add an item. Yeah.
It's a really good way it's fun too. If you go to her website, there's a lot of examples. Also, less is more. I know we talk about all these tech tools. There's tons. I mean, honestly, I have learned so many tech tools and it gets overwhelming, but you don't want to overwhelm the student, and you want to use tools that they're familiar with. And if you want to introduce them to a new tool like Vocaroo, not many people know about that. It's simple, but you want to use as few tech tools as possible. Don't give them a whole lot of choices because it gets overwhelming. And have them do low stress tasks. Don't make it too complicated, but just enough that you know that they understand what they're learning. And
what is the learning objective, right? Really having that focused learning objective to make sure that the activity you're giving them is at their ability to demonstrate that learning objective, that it's written on the same level of Bloom's, that the learning task matches what you covered in your objectives. Yeah.
You know, you want to review the content and that L1 again, you know, their first language, maybe you need the objectives to be put in their L1 in their first language just to get them to understand what they're supposed to be learning. And group work. We're excited that now we got Google Enterprise. We have breakout rooms in Google Meet. But before we get them, this is a few little links here that show you how to do breakout rooms with Google Meet without having the actual feature in Google Meet. So
because that peer collaboration is so important, especially in the language learning process, right? It's how they make their connections and learn the language.
Yeah, and
we got to give them those opportunities.
Not having the whole class in there with them. Maybe they're more comfortable with a few kids.
A smaller group.
Mm-hmm. And I think I'll add the link in here too with the breakout room instructions. And then collaborative assignments is another way that they can share out. So they can share on a Google slide deck. Jamboard is awesome. You can use it to have them, you can actually, in Google Meet now, there's a whiteboard option and it links them to a Google Jamboard that you create and they can respond there. Your LMS discussions is a good way to have collaborative assignments. I actually have some links here on how to make Canvas groups and how to make the group discussions. So you can have 2-3 kids in their own little group discussion and you can check on them. So those are some few ways we can have comprehensible output from our students. And obviously give them a choice. Like when we were talking about let them lead by their identity, this is the way to do it. Yes, you can kind of moderate it a little bit where they don't have like a wide span of things to do, but you can make a choice board to have different. So you might want, maybe they like to speak, maybe they like to sing, maybe they like to act, maybe they like to write, read, just giving those choices of different ways they can respond helps them feel more comfortable, I think.
Right. And you can give them choice on like the content, like you could provide them with different ways to get the content. So maybe you give them a article to read or a video to watch or an audio to listen to, and they can choose which way they interact. So you can give choice in the content. You can give choice in the product, like you mentioned. So however they respond to you, maybe they get a choice in the product that they submit to demonstrate their learning. Or you also could give them a choice on the level of difficulty. I've seen choice boards designed around the levels of Bloom's to ensure that they are able to master, but the kids that want to challenge themselves can choose a higher level, but you're ensuring that you design it in a way that you ensure all students reach the level of the objective to demonstrate that mastery. So
and I didn't put this in the presentation, but HyperDocs is another way to do that.
Oh, perfect. Yes.
I probably should have put that in here. But this just shows you kind of instructions, but little steps you can take to build a choice board. And on the next slide, I've just shown you some examples that are already made. And you can click on these and it will take you to either a copy of that so you can make it like you want it, or it'll take you into how to make it. So this is a tic-tac board. I think this is great because this one, I don't think it's this one. There's one where they had options in there for online students and offline students. So those students that do not have internet
access, we want to still provide offline learning opportunities because some kids are tired of the screen. The screen does make us tired being on and all the time. And so maybe those kids want to do an offline activity. So providing an offline option for kids is a great thing to include.
And this book trailer one is actually what you were talking about. They can pick by how challenged they want to be. So they can do a level 1, level 2, level 3. The learning menu is pretty cool. It's interesting. You pick by the entrees, the appetizers. That's a cute way to do a choice board. Yeah. And I found this Fortnite map that I thought was great. That Fortnite is very popular right now with the kids. And so I've linked a copy of a Fortnite map and you can customize it how you want it to if you're interested in that. So that's just some examples, and you can click on those to get to make copies of those. And we can't talk about ESL without talking about the 4 domains of English language development, because our ESL teachers these are the standards they have to go by. And that's the listening, reading, speaking, and writing. And so I'm not going to really read through these real well, but these are just some suggestions on how to touch on those standards whenever you're designing your content.
And when you're designing instruction, you should provide all of these opportunities, right? Throughout the lesson, you need to have all of these opportunities there. Yeah. And it's just a reminder for us.
We've touched on really everything here, the speaking, the pronounce, the list, and these are just some suggestions you can use that I put there for you. So if you want to try to fit those in. And this is important to me. And I think this is really something that everybody should at least try. Is to just ask them, because they know what they understand, what they're understanding. They know what is hard for them, what has been hard for them. I feel like asking the students, hey, how's it going? I even have right here, so in our tech tip, we have a tech tips every other week. And in issue 5, I put how you could use Google Forms for surveys. So you can slip in a survey in your LMS, Canvas or Google Classroom, and just ask them what's been hard for them, what they find difficult. I made a Google form with a whole bunch of questions in it, but you can take out and put in what you want. You can change it however you want. If you go to this issue and click on the link, it'll take you in there and it's editable. And I just gave you ideas of questions that you might want to ask them to kind of get an idea of what you need to do, change something in MLS or...
And it shows that we as teachers are lifelong learners too. We know that we're not perfect, right? And that we want to improve. And so the process of asking them their opinion on how things went, how a lesson went, allows them to see that it's important to reflect on our practice.
Because just in case you're not familiar with Tech Tips, which I think everybody is, but if you've missed an issue or whatever, I have a link here it'll take you to where all our Tech Tips are, and you can go through, and there's a lot of ideas on there. And this is just a few other resources that I found that would be useful. This I thought was a great find. Go Open NC is one of our apps that are on our NC Ed Cloud. It's an open resource, and it has hubs that you can search for. And I'm just going to click on this really quick.
There's so much information in there.
You can make your own. Can they make their own hub? Right?
Yes, you can make your own hub and group. So much available in Go Open. And we have, if you want to learn more about it, we do have a micro-credential on Go Open that you can check out to learn more. And it's right there in your NC Ed Cloud.
But this is a hub I found that are just for ELL, well, not just for anybody, but Together for ELL's English Language Development Hub. And it has resources here for ELL teachers that they can reference to. There's resources, tons of stuff you can use for your classroom. So just giving you an idea what that looks like. And the Esther Park, I got a lot of information for her for this PD. So if you want to go to her website and check her out, this is the link to her website. She's also on Twitter. I think she's on Facebook, but this is what she puts all kinds of things on Twitter if you're a Twitter user. But
and if you're not, you need to check it out.
Yeah, it's PLN. I don't know, personal learn. I learned so much on Twitter. Yeah. I find a lot of my tech tips on Twitter too, don't I?
Exactly.
This is our remote learning resources link to our DCS website. And I do have here something I found, and I just put it in real fast, a Google Translate formula for sheets. So what that is you make a spreadsheet. I'm going to see if it'll show. Oh, this is Jake Miller. But you can type in, and you have a formula you put in. So any word you put down underneath will translate to, so in other words, cheeseburger in English, you can make the formula to translate it in Spanish. And so you can drag that formula down, and everything that you see,
it'll translate for you.
Yeah, it translates for you. And I thought that was really cool. So if you're in there and the kids,
or even the kids having that as their own tool, like showing that
I think
so that they have it, they can use it at any time in the class. They can have it open, and
the teacher can set that up, share it with them, and they can go in and say, "Oh, she said this word, or this is the vocabulary. Well, let me see what it is in Spanish," and they understand that. I thought that was a great idea.
Yeah. Well, guys, this has been great. A lot of information. I hope you have enjoyed our first podcast. We hope to do some more. If you've got some ideas that you'd like to have covered on a podcast, let us know, and we'll see you next time.